I'm gonna share with you some of the top mistakes that new YouTubers make, and if you can avoid these mistakes, you'll actually see a lot more growth a lot more quickly and keep you from going down a huge rabbit hole where you kind of get frustrated. Let's jump into it. I'm Jesse with Inspired Video Marketing, where I show you how to build a YouTube-based business. If that's something you're looking to do, subscribe and turn on all notifications. So when you first get started on YouTube, you're probably in one of two camps. Either A, you're like, this is exactly the kind of videos I want to make, or B, you're just like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And I think the best answer is to be somewhere almost in the middle there, because when you're first getting started on YouTube, if your content's all over the place and you've got all these different things going on, then people don't really know what to expect from your channel, right? It's gonna be hard to kind of build an audience around that. That being said, going that route might be okay for maybe a couple months, as long as you're putting out consistent content. Here's why. If you're deciding ahead of time, this is exactly what my videos are gonna be about, and you make video after video after video after video about that thing, and you're not seeing growth, maybe you're kind of going down a dead-end topic that's really hard to grow in, that not a lot of people are looking for information about, or it's just not resonating with your audience with the way you present it. So by at least dabbling a little bit more outside of what you were planning on making your videos about, that'll give you more opportunities to kind of connect with your audience and get one of those victories. Now, if you're going all over the place and all of a sudden you get a couple videos that hit big, well, you have to look at that and say, okay, well, what were those videos about? And then at that point, niche down. A perfect example of that is this channel. I've basically been on YouTube for, at the time of this video coming out, 9 months-ish, depending on when I finally put this video public. But I've had a couple big hit videos, and it's basically because I managed to hit the right topic and it still fit within what I wanted my channel to be about. It's YouTube-based business, right? So a little bit of business, a little bit of how to grow on YouTube. And so within that, I try to find different topics that are interesting, relevant to my audience, and little by little, I start to find these ones that hit big, and then I can double down on them and make more videos that are similar. But that doesn't happen if I'm always trying to make a video about how to get more subscribers, how to get more subscribers fast, how to get more, if I'm always doing these different little variations on that and nothing else, and I haven't had any videos hit big to begin with, then it's telling me that I need to switch things up a little bit. So play around with the kind of content you're making until you get a video that hits big. If for whatever reason your first video hits big off the bat, boom, you're good to go. You know something that you can rely on, but that doesn't usually happen. It takes time. It takes multiple uploads. It doesn't just happen because you put a video up, and I know maybe you watch these tutorials showing you, oh, this is the key to get bigger. I got videos on my channel saying, hey, this is the key to get bigger. But look, YouTube is a lot of elements. It takes a lot of elements to make your videos pop. And we'll talk more about those in a second, because that's one of the big mistakes a lot of YouTubers make, is not getting those in place. But the first thing you need to understand is you've got to put out a lot of content over and over and over again to start to get better at making videos, to start seeing what your audience is wanting to see, and just to get more possibilities for your channel to grow out there. So look at every video as an opportunity for your channel to get more traction, whether that's through search results, suggested, home feed, all that, right? But it takes time. You can't just put one video out and expect everything to happen. You can't put 2 videos out and expect everything to happen. A lot of times I see people put comments like, oh, I've been on YouTube for 6 months and I'm not growing. What's going on? And then you go to their channel and they got like 2-3 videos. That's probably a big part of the problem. Or sometimes people will be on YouTube for a week, but they'll put out like 30 videos in that week and they're like, how come I'm not growing? Well, it takes time again. So it's a little bit of time, and it's a little bit about putting enough videos out. It's a little bit about putting quality videos out. So good baseline I always give everyone when they're getting started out is do at least 1 video a week. If you can handle it, do 2, maybe even up to 3 videos a week. Give it a year at least 1 video a week. And if you're not seeing results, then there's a problem. Typically though, you should probably see at least 1 video that gets a little bit of results that's above average for you within the first 3 months. 6 months, you'll probably have something that hits big if you're getting the other pieces in place that I'm gonna give you. Next big mistake I see with a lot of new YouTubers is overcomplicating things with the production. They think they have to have a ring light like I got, they gotta get this microphone here. You don't need all that stuff. You don't even need an expensive camera. Now, I will have linked in the description what I personally use, and that will help give you a certain baseline of decent quality, but all the stuff I use is not crazy expensive. You don't need expensive gear. You don't even need expensive editing software. All you really need is a decent cell phone, any modern cell phone that came out in the last 3-4 years. you'll be good to go with that. Besides that, get some decent lighting, whether that's having a light close to you, having some daylight. I always have daylight coming in from the window outside. Anything like that can be enough to get some good light on you so people can see you clearly. If anything, I would say the most important part for your videos that will keep people watching is quality audio. If you have pristine video and it's 4K and it looks super sharp and you've got cool editing and all that stuff, and the audio is absolutely unlistenable, people can't understand what you're saying, they're gonna bail because they can't understand the message that you're trying to convey. If you have just really good audio, super pristine and clear, and the video is just so-so, the cam's a little shaky maybe, and the lighting's not the best, a lot of those people will still stick around because they can still hear the message that you're trying to convey. If you can though, you want to of course try to get both as good as you can. And the simple tips I gave you before with the video will help a lot. As far as the audio goes, well, all you really need to do is get a little bit closer to your phone if you're using a phone, get a mic if you can, that'll help a lot, but you don't have to go crazy. It's just a matter of trying to eliminate as many of these little variables as you can, such as like being in a really echoey room. If you're in a really echoey room, then get closer to the microphone or the phone, or put a microphone by your mouth like I've got. If you're outside where it's windy, try to get somewhere where it's not quite so windy, or get closer to the microphone. Again, that will help to some degree, but try to set up your environment and your microphone and your camera and all that in a way where people can clearly hear what you're saying. That's very important. And as far as the editing side of things, you don't need anything too crazy. You can edit video on a lot of smartphones now. On desktop, there's things like Camtasia, I believe is cheap or free. I'm not really familiar with it, but I've heard a lot of people use that. iMovie is included if you have a Mac. So there's a lot of different options out there, and your editing does not have to be insane. It can help if maybe there's a lot of parts where you're dragging in the video and you're not really getting your message across, or there's a bunch of dead space where you're just thinking about what you're gonna say for 20 seconds, or if there's a lot of ums and ahs and things like that, and there's a whole big chunk where it's just like, okay, there's nothing being conveyed to move the video forward, then in editing, you definitely want to take those things, chop them out of your video so you can keep things moving smoothly. The next tip is the heavy hitters of what makes a video perform. So we talked about like the video itself, but what really gets people watching your videos is the idea behind your video. So the topic, the title, and the thumbnail. Now, if you don't get those right, you could put, all the time in the world in hours. We know how long it takes to script and think about what you're gonna talk about in your video, to film that video, to edit, right? You spend hours on that stuff. But what good is all that time if no one clicks to watch your video, right? That's where a lot of people miss. They put all the time into those things, and then they just slap a title, a thumbnail, they'll just maybe make no thumbnail or take a screen grab, and people see the video as they're scrolling through their feed and it doesn't catch their attention, doesn't look like it's necessarily gonna be that good, so they don't watch. So take more time to think of a compelling title that will make people wanna watch your video. Really put some thought and some time into it. It should not be a 10-second thing. Ideally, you wanna spend at least, I would say 10, 15 minutes on just the title. Same thing goes for the thumbnail. Make sure that thumbnail pops. It grabs people's attention. If you don't have those elements in place as people are scrolling through, there's really no reason for them to stop and even consider watching your video. So spend more time on that title and that thumbnail, but within that, the topic is a big key that will make making a better title and thumbnail easier. So to help you with all this, I got two really good things for you. First of all, I'm gonna show you how to get 1,000 views in one day. Not clickbait, promise you. Second thing, I'm gonna show you how to get more views in general on YouTube. I will have videos for both those pinned to the top comment. Those are two other videos I have on YouTube that will help you get 1,000 views in a day and give you the secret to get more views on YouTube in general. If this video helped, be sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Drop me a comment, let me know what tip was your favorite and what you're gonna put in place, and I'll see you in those videos pinned to the comments next.